Next up we have the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club, and earlier on Ian caught up with a couple of the drivers.
Right, here we are with your race one winner, Steve McDermott. Now, as we were just chatting there, weren't we, Steve? Actually, really wanted to have a chat with you after race one. Didn't get a chance because of the trucks, but congratulations first of all. But it was tight, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And Will just kept coming at me, and then closing the gap. And he's so fast in Paddock Hill. It was, you had to keep switch on. That's my first win at Brands. So,
congratulations.
Over the moon.
It was fascinating to watch because there was four of you really going for it. I was watching you coming down here and slipping and sliding. What's the track conditions like? It's hot today, isn't it? But it's quite greasy out there.
Well, it seems greasy, but these tyres, they don't really like the heat. So as soon as they get hot, they get halfway through the race and then they start going off. Sometimes they come back and you've got the grip again, but you can't guarantee on it. No. So sometimes you can gain a bit, but then they get it back.
So we're going to make it a double bubble in race two.
I'm going to try my utmost, mate.
Top man, Steve McDermott there, your Z-Class Race 1 winner.
Well, nice to hear from Steve McDermott there, and he's also got pole position for the second race for the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship. Number 77 lines up alongside the 6 of Steve Darby. Second row 66 of Will Sharp, and the number 83 of Phil Walker. Third row 24 Jack Woodcock, and 53 the first of the MGFs, that's Mark Baker. Fourth row will be Stuart Plotneck and Simon Kendrick, a pair of MGFs, numbers 5 and 42. On the fifth row, number 3 Adrian Olsen in his ZR, and number 8 Paul Wisby MGF. Sixth row Andy Robinson, number 30 David Amphlett at number 14 in the first of the MGBs. Row 7 is Chris Pollard and Mark Grant. Chris Pollard in MGB, Mark Grant in a ZR. Row 8, Chris Millard and Nick Golhar. They line up next. Rear of the grid slightly wrong there, apologies for that. Chris Millard and Nick Golhar, followed by Anthony Bate in the Maestro, Matthew Dorr in his MGB. Then we've got George Howarth and Darryl Davis. And the two cars at the back, they were excluded from qualifying. So Fergus Campbell, number 1, and 71 Carl Bate, they have to start with a 10-second penalty. Their cars were found to be underweight at the end of qualifying. So ZR's filling the top 5 places on the grid then. The first of the MGFs being Mark Baker, number 53, won the class in race 1. Class A for the Abingdon built cars was won by David Amphlett, number 14. That's the black MGB with the white stripes. The missing one car, I think they're alongside Chris Millard. It's Nick Golhar. He broke down in race 1, so that car a non-starter. I think everybody else is there, though, possibly. No, Darryl Davis is not there, 75. We saw that car in a cloud of smoke and after only one lap of the first race. His MGF. Darryl Davis, a former champion in the days of the Maestros. Hi to Matthew on YouTube, who says MG Maestro and the Citroen 2CVs the best cars here in my opinion. Don't forget Paul Haylett in his Maestro estate. I think you might mean Montego estates, Matthew. To my knowledge they didn't make a Maestro estate. There were a couple of Montego estates that raced out there, including Andy Campbell. His Montego estate was an occasional winner with this series. Quite a few people asking which car is Jack Woodcock in. I think a few fans for him on YouTube. He's car 24, the white car you can see there, 5th on the grid, the white ZR. So the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship then, a 20-minute race. Steve McDermott looking to continue his dominance of this championship this year. The man from Buckingham began his racing career on motorcycles. Alongside him, the number 6 of Steve Darby. Been with the MG Owners Club since 2018. Second place in both races at Castle Combe on Bank Holiday Monday. Steve McDermott looking to make it 7 wins out of 7 for the season. 3 wins at Mallory Park on opening day, 2 wins at Castle Combe. Second row of the grid, Will Sharp. We normally see him in the classic MGs, and 83 Phil Walker. He's been racing since the early 80s in MGs. Began with an MGB GT back in 1983. Into position then this fine grid of MGs, young and old. David Amphlett at the front of the classic category. Defending classic class champion. Not many people have beaten Jim Bainham to that title over the years. The green flag waves at the back of the grid then. This will be a 20-minute race. The Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship. Red lights are on and away they go, and not the best of starts for Steve McDermott. I think he was trying to stop the car creeping there. The two cars with a 10-second penalty wait patiently at the back of the grid, and it is Steve Darby who has gone into the lead. I think we might have had a bit of a contact there towards the back of the pack, and we have now, yes, Adrian Olsen has clipped the back of one of the MGFs. That's Paul Wisby that has gone off there in the number 8, I think, the red MGF. It's Steve Darby who's got the lead. McDermott in second place. There's Wisby with some damage to the back of the number 8 car. He's got it going again, but there's a bit of a bottleneck in the field there going into paddock, and he was the one who got spun aside, unfortunately. They start to sort themselves out then. Jack Woodcock in the 24 in among the MGFs. It looks as though Simon Kendrick has come through as a result of that little schmozzle at paddock into the class lead. Stephen Darby always run wide there, coming into clear ways. Can he hold the lead ahead of Steve McDermott, looking to continue his unbeaten run? He's won all 6 races so far this season. Third place, Will Sharp. He's raced in Porsches briefly as well a few years ago alongside his brother Henry in Porsche 924s. They complete the first lap. Darby from McDermott, then Sharp, Walker, Simon Kendrick and Jack Woodcock side by side for 5th position. Simon Kendrick's been overall champion on a couple of occasions. McDermott dodging about there behind the number 6 of Steve Darby, the man from Halstead in Essex. Down the hill. McDermott has a look. He's not going to get through there. Darby covers the line. Sharp in third. It's MGZR's running 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 24 of Jack Woodcock in his first year of racing. Made his debut in round 1 at Mallory Park, so he's going well up there. He's had a couple of podiums so far this season. There he is, the white ZR. They've broken clear of Kendrick, who leads Baker in the battle of the MGFs. That's Adrian Olsen up there behind him. Returned to racing 2 years ago after a long gap, and somebody's kicked up some dust there on the outside. Didn't see who that was, one of the ZRs. There's the MGF battle between Simon Kendrick in the Tiger striped car and Mark Baker, number 53. Overall champion back in 2014, Mark Baker with his MGF. The classic class is being led by David Amphlett ahead of Chris Pollard. Now Class B car, Anthony Bates still going further back as well. There go the MGFs. There's Adrian Olsen through behind them. And there are the classics, led by David Amphlett, number 14, the Oxfordshire driver. Began racing in 1998 with his MGB, has rarely missed a meeting since then. There's Chris Pollard, number 28. Previously raced at MG Midget. He won the class in 2015 in this championship. So proving that Jim Bainham is fallible. Not racing this weekend, gentleman Jim Bainham in his famous MGB. He's busy on the organising side of things. Over the line come the 5 ZRs. Darby from McDermott, Sharp, Walker and Woodcock. In fact, I think Sharp has got through, hasn't he? Yes, the similar liveries there confusing me. Will Sharp has got up into second place. There's the Maestro, number 70, the BS Motorsports run car. He's ahead of one of our classic cars, Carl Bates, number 71. Love to see some more Maestros and Montegos out there with this series. There's one other Montego racing in the UK, an MG Montego races with another club. Here come your leaders. Steve Darby still leads it from Will Sharp. McDermott back in third place, and he's going to have to work hard here. He's going to keep up his unbeaten run this year. He's going for second on the inside there. Will Sharp holds him off in the 66. He's raced Maestros, Midgets, then the ZRs. Would have been out in his MG Midget this weekend. That had engine trouble at Castle Combe on Bank Holiday Monday. The meeting's running very close together because this weekend, of course, rescheduled from earlier in the year. There are the MGFs. Number 42, Simon Kendrick, local man from Beckenham in Kent. He's got Mark Baker, number 53, the man from Ipswich, all over the back of him. Stuart Plotnick, third in the class. Has been class champion a couple of times. Shows what a friendly and pleasant club this is, that drivers spend so many years racing with them. A lot of very long-serving drivers out there. One of the newcomers, Jack Woodcock, challenging there. Here's the MGF battle, and Mark Baker wants a second class win of the day. He's all over the back of Simon Kendrick. Chased by Adrian Olsen in number 3, the ex-Maestro racer. Phil Walker, number 83. He's raced historic single-seaters as well as MGFs. Has raced a couple of Lolas, including a Formula 5000 car, the big Chevrolet V8 engine beast. Very different to that MGZR. David Amphlett is still leading the Classic division ahead of Chris Pollard, but only just. They're coming through onto the Brabham straight now, and they have just been passed by Fergus Campbell, coming through from the back of the grid in car number 1, another ex-Maestro champion. There's Phil Walker in this procession of MGZRs at the front of the field. There's the Classic class leader, David Amphlett. He's currently running in 11th overall. Coming through Druids at the moment. Chris Pollard second behind him in the 28. The gap has opened up slightly between those two now. Here are your leaders, and Will Sharp runs a little wide. Dermid thought about having a look there, but the gap closed. McDermott tight to the inside, down towards the Brabham Straight. 14 minutes of this race to go, so still a long way to go. Steve Darby, number 6, continues to hold the lead. There's a challenge on the outside there for the lead of the MGF class. I don't think Mark Baker's going to get through there. The leaders lapping one of the back markers, Matthew Dorr, there as they go through Druids. Will Sharp thought about having a look for the lead there, but he wasn't close enough coming into Druids. And we have had a change round the outside coming out of paddock. That's a good move by Mark Baker. Has got the MGF up into the class lead now ahead of the later MGF VVC of Simon Kendrick. Coming up to lap Matthew Dorr, number 47, with his MGB. He's a newcomer this year. It's only his second or third race meet. You can see the novice cross on the back of his car. So Mark Baker, very impressive in his older shape MGF, the newer VVC being left behind, and Stuart Plotnick's version in third place. In among them the ZRs of Olsen and Campbell. We've got some big names from the old MG Maestro days here. Darryl Davis we saw briefly earlier on, Fergus Campbell, Adrian Olsen. They've all been with this series for many, many years now. There is David Amphlett. Closing on George Howarth. Was due to share the car with his father Adam this weekend, but George ending up doing both races. Adam regularly races in a BMW in other series. Here come the leaders. Steve Darby, number 6, the Essex driver. Steve McDermott looking determined. He's got the headlights on now as you come up towards half distance. Jack Woodcock has lost a little bit of ground there on Phil Walker in the 83 car. There is Amphlett, continuing to press on in the lead of the Classic division, looking to retain his class title this year. He just beat Jim Bainham to the Classic category title last year. Swing their way through Druids Bend, down towards Graham Hill, through the trees at this very scenic little circuit. Steve McDermott is in danger of losing his unbeaten run for the season here. Let's wait and see what happens. Will the commentator's curse work in reverse now I've said that? Well, Will Sharp having a look there in the 66. He can't quite get up alongside Steve Darby. This is a good drive by Steve Darby in number 6. Been with the MG Owners Club since 2018 in his ZR. He's had a win at Snetterton last season. Looking for another one here as Will Sharp goes to the inside of paddock end. Big lock-up from the 66 car. Has he done it on the brakes? Yes, he has. Good move, Will Sharp. He runs wide on the exit. Can he get back across on Darby? Yes, he has. Great move by Will Sharp. That was a brave bit of driving on the brakes into Paddock Bend. He was lucky not to run wide into the gravel there on the exit. But Will Sharp, who's normally seen in the classic class in his MG Midgets, has brought out his ZR and he's leading the way. Steve Darby in second. They're starting to pull slightly clear now of McDermott in third place, I think. A couple of car lengths clear. Then it's Walker and Woodcock. Sharp again runs wide. He always does there, going into clearways. Gets a slightly better exit as a result, I think. First five still clear of Mark Baker, who's leading the MGFs. Then Simon Kendrick is seventh. Fergus Campbell from the back is up to eighth, having had his qualifying times disallowed. Adrian Olsen is ninth, and Stuart Plotnick in the third of the MGFs is 10th. Then we've got George Howarth in his ZR. Then Amphlett and Pollard in the two classic class-leading MGBs. Here they are, and Pollard's right with David Amphlett now through clearways. Behind them, Paul Wisby, recovering from that incident on the first corner with his rather battered MGF. Next in the order, Mark Grant in the 46th, then Andy Robinson, Chris Millard, the Bates family, Carl ahead of Anthony, MGB ahead of Maestro, and the final runner is Matthew Dorr. 20 cars still running in this Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship race, with just over 9 minutes of it to go. And Steve McDermott is getting aboard now. He's all over the back of Steve Darby for second place. The two Steves battle it out, but it is still Will Sharp in the lead in 66. Man from Radcliffe-on-Trent in Nottinghamshire. There's Chris Pollard. He's lost out to Paul Wisby now. The MGF has got ahead of the older MGB. That could hamper Pollard's chances of catching David Amphlett. Further back there's Mark Grant, the orange ZR. Now the leaders are coming up into backmarker traffic now. They're going to lap the Maestro. It's effectively the predecessor really in the model line of the MG ZRs. Taking a look at their ancestor there. Adrian Olsen in the number 3 still going well with Stuart Plotnick on his tail. That's for ninth. This battle is for 9th place. Two different classes of course. Stuart Plotnick third in the MG Midgets category, the MGF category I should say, sorry. Spiritual successor to the MG Midget, really, those cars. Stuart Plotnick been with this series for a number of seasons now. He got the better exit there from Graham Hill Bend. He could draw alongside here. Yes, he's going through. Plotnick passes Adrian Olsen. Behind them, George Howarth in the Howarth Holmes number 93 ZR. Here's the leader in the MGF category, Mark Baker. He hasn't shaken off Simon Kendrick. They're separated by about 3/4 of a second. Fergus Campbell closing in on them from the back of the grid in the number 1. Here are the leaders. Actually in all three categories. All three main categories, of course. Sadly, Anthony Bates in his Maestro has got nobody to race against, the only entry in Class B. I'm fairly sure the Golhar family have still got one of their Maestros, so we might see that out later in the year. Sadly, Nick Golhar unable to start this race. Problems in race 1 with his ZR. Darby has a look. Darby determined to get that lead back again, and McDermott's closed right back up now. Just over 7 minutes of this to go, and they're going to be line astern, the three of them. What's Steve Darby going to do here as they head down the Brabham Straight? Is he going to try and slipstream Will Sharp as they go into Paddock Hill Bend? They've got MGBs ahead of them to be lapped. Carl Bate in the number 71. The man from St Albans in Hertfordshire is all set to be lapped. Another MGB ahead of them as well. It's our novice Matthew Dorr. They're not sure where to go. Meantime, I can tell you the lead in the classic category has changed. Here they are. Chris Pollard has just taken David Amphlett. So a new leader in Class A. That's Chris Pollard in the 28s. Been racing since the late 90s. He's been a class champion as well. David Amphlett, the current class champion, but it's Chris Pollard, the Suffolk driver, who now leads. Back with our overall leaders, Sharp from Derby. That's starting to take them clear of McDermott now, just over 6 minutes to go. Phil Walker looking on from 4th. Jack Woodcock has dropped away a little bit as David Amphlett tries to get his class lead back again. These two outpacing the ZR of Mark Grant, which is impressive. Mark Grant, another newcomer this season, made his debut last weekend at Castle Combe, so giving a good account of himself as a novice here in 15th place. It's a wonderful mixture of drivers of different ability, aren't there? drivers that have been with this club since the 1980s, in the days of the Maestros and so on, and you've got drivers who are just making their debuts this season. Proof what a friendly, pleasant club this is. Motorsport for all in their MGs. 47 Matthew Dorr, another of our newcomers, being lapped by Simon Kendrick. He's trying to catch Mark Baker back up again, the 53 car leading Class F for the MGFs. Less than a second covering the top three. They're coming out of Clark Curve now, and the pursuers have got their headlights on. They're trying to put Will Sharp under pressure now. They'll know there's only 5 minutes to go. McDermott goes wide towards Paddock. Is he going to try and get the cutback on the exit here? Steve Darby holds the line in number 6. There's a daring move down the inside into Paddock that won Will Sharp the lead of the race in this Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship second race of the day. Roundrums. Phil Walker looking on in the 83, the grey and green car. Jack Woodcock, one of our first season newcomers, up there in 5th position. Still Chris Pollard leads Class A ahead of David Amphlett. They've had a good scrap today. Still leading Class B is the solo Maestro of Anthony Bates. Oh, and Steve McDermott a bit out of shape there, coming through clearways. And Steve Darby's getting aboard. Look at this, he's closing right up on Will Sharp now. He could get past here with a bit of luck. He's going to try and play Will Sharp at his own game into Paddock possibly. Here they come, over the line. Nothing in it between these two. They're coming up on an MGB. Chris Millard going a lap down, the number 11, so he won't get through there. Number 11 of Chris Millard. Second and third in the championship over the last few seasons, a consistent racer. The ZRs still do battle up front. Still Will Sharp. Can he end Steve McDermott's run of success this year? 3.5 minutes to go. Along the bottom of the circuit they go. Jack Woodcock's dropped back into 5th place now, but a safe 5th place, about 7 seconds or so ahead of Mark Baker. Sharp a little bit wide there, again through Clark Curve. Here comes Steve Darby again. He's right into the slipstream this time. What's he going to do? Into Paddock Bend. Could this be a move for the lead coming up here from Steve Darby? He's going to go to the outside, under braking for Paddock Bend. I don't think he's going to get round there. No, he's not. Here they come. Down the hill, then up into Druids, up the rise. Darby is lining him up. He's lunging now. He's not holding back. McDermott's trying to go around the outside as well. Right on the bumper there. There was nearly contact between Sharp and Darby. Will Sharp soaking up so much pressure here. This is great racing. Well, the Wayside Adhesives sponsored car leading the way. And you could say that Steve Darby is almost glued to his bumper here. Here he comes, having a look as they go down towards Surtees. He could get alongside here. No, Sharp again holds him off. He's got to be mindful that one false move, Steve Darby, and McDermott's going to be through, and he could have a chance here. This is terrific racing, and Phil Walker's trying to get a piece of this as well in the 83. The man from Toaster near Silverstone. One false move from Will Sharp, and Steve Darby will be straight through into the lead, but Darby gets his foot down and actually ekes out a bit of a lead there over the line. Couple of laps to go. They're lapping in the 58-59 second bracket. There's the classic class battle. Chris Pollard still ahead of David Amphlett. All eyes on this fabulous lead battle at the moment. Here they come, up into Druids. Steve Darby really pressuring the 66 of Will Sharp now. Down the hill, Darby, is he going to have a look there on the inside? No, he's not. There is number 42 of Simon Kendrick. He's still second in the MGFs. It's still Mark Baker leading that class. There are the leaders. Here they come into clear ways once again. Darby again takes the tighter line. Just over a minute to go. I think they're going to get 2 more laps out of this. It might be close though. Here they come. There's the classic battle. David Ampflett's fighting back. He's closing back up on Chris Pollard. Over the line go the leaders. Round the outside goes Steve Darby. I think we're going to get 2 more laps out of this, including the one they're on. There's our MGF leader, Mark Baker. He's just come over the line now as Darby goes to the outside. is trying to set the car up. He could get a run on him here, down into Graham Hill Bend. Has he got it? No, he hasn't. Again, Sharp moves across, takes the line. He's got the better exit from the corner. And McDermott is shadowing them both too now. He knows it's now or never, Steve McDermott. He knows he's about to lose his unbeaten run this year, unless he can get past the two in front of him. Here they come, into clearways. Sharp defending as if his life depends on it here. He wants that race win. Steve Darby doesn't get as good an exit there. Look at McDermott up the outside as they go up the main straight. 53 Mark Baker we see still leading the MGFs, and going round the outside is Steve McDermott. There was a back marker there, that's why Darby had to back off, and McDermott's through into second. I think there was a back marker there on the inside. No, there wasn't, in fact. I thought they were encountering traffic, and Darby just didn't get as good an exit from Clark Curve. We're on the last lap now, and it is the 66 of Will Sharp. McDermott, can he rescue this? Can he keep up his unbeaten run? He's got to attack as hard as he can on the back of Will Sharp. There is a back marker ahead now, Andy Robinson, number 30. They'll be hoping he gets out of their way. Here they come down the Cooper Straight. Robinson moves aside. Here they come into Surtees. What can McDermott do? Is he going to go for a last bend lunge? He goes to the outside. He's going to try and get the cutback on this final corner. Darby is there as well. It's going to be a drag race to the line between these two. Sharp, McDermott, Darby's in behind them. It could be the three of them going for the win. I don't think Steve McDermott's going to do it. He's going to be beaten for the first time this year in the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship. Will Sharp wins it. McDermott second, Darby third as quickly as that. Fourth for Phil Walker and fifth for Jack Woodcock. What a magnificent race. Sixth place and winning the MGF class, a double class win for Mark Baker this weekend. He'll be pleased with that. Seventh over the line is Simon Kendrick. Eighth is Fergus Campbell from the back of the grid, echoing the position he took in race one. George Howarth, a good ninth place in his ZR. And rounding out the top 10 will be Stuart Plotneck, although I've had notification he's got a penalty, so we'll wait and see how that works out. And in the classic category, they're racing for the line. Chris Pollard, it looks like, is going to stay ahead of David Amphlett. Amphlett under threat from 46, one of our newcomers, Mark Grant, but it's going to be Chris Pollard, number 28, to win Class A for the classic cars. Over the line they come. Good race between those two. They finish less than a second apart. And Class B, of course, won by Anthony Bates at the wheel of his Maestro. There is the winner of Class B. Well done to Anthony Bates and his Maestro. Shame we didn't have any other Maestros for him to race against this year. Last raced, we're told in our notes, last raced 15 years ago, that car. Okay, a very enjoyable race from the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship. Their second race of the day and a first defeat of the season for Steve McDermott as Will Sharp takes the win. Ian Waterhouse is down there with the drivers in Parc Ferme.
Hello everybody, welcome down to Parc Ferme, and what a cracking race we saw. We're going to move over here. Actually, we've got Stephen Darby actually to grab a quick word with Stephen. Stephen, that was pretty intense, wasn't it, between all of you guys right at the front? I couldn't call it right until the end, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely felt the weight of them all behind me, piling up. It's not the quickest of cars, this one, so we did well to stay out for as long as we did. The wheel was amazingly quick, and a very tough man to hold back, to say the least. So. No, it was respectable. Pleased with third anyway. Stayed on the track.
It was fantastic to watch. Congratulations, Ed, because it really was great. Here he is. Here's Will Sharp.
Hi.
Will, do you want a hand?
I think we got it.
You got it. Oh, whoa, hang on, Steve. So you've just won the race, an incredible race, and then they tell you you have to push your car.
Well, you know what? I'll push it all the way back to Nottingham if I have to after winning a race like that.
That was insane, by the way. I mean, 4 or 5 of you right in the mix. It's such good racing, isn't it?
It was amazing racing. I made an unbelievable move to get the lead down Paddock Hill, so I upset myself, but it was mad. And then my steering wheels come loose. So the slow corners, I was having to turn once and then twice for it to turn. And I was using second gear here, but I knew if I could just get onto the straight, nobody would get me down Paddock Hill. but I was going around it having to turn twice, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But, you know, love it.
Well done, Will. That's
Race.
fantastic stuff. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That really is. Let's grab a quick word with Steve McDermott. We did speak to him a little bit earlier we spoke a little bit earlier, didn't we? And here we are again, back on the podium. Tricky race. That was insane to watch.
Yeah, that was close all the way round. Obviously, we were slowing each other up because we couldn't get on, but brilliant race.
I don't know how you guys breathe. It's 20 minutes and you just wheel to wheel, bumper to bumper stuff. How do you stay concentrated for that long?
Well, it's hard, and then one mistake and you can be right out of it. So, you've got to keep your eye on the ball. But it's close racing, and that's what it's all about.
Brilliant stuff. Well done. Congratulations. Right, I am going to hand back to your commentator, Dave Goddard, to let you know about what is coming up next.
Right, let's check out the results. Thanks, Ian. We'll check out the results of that race for the Lancaster Insurance MG Owners Club Championship. Will Sharp hands Steve McDermott his first defeat of the season by 0.227 of a second, and only a couple of tenths further back was Darby in third place. Steve Darby, a cracking race from him as well, leading a portion of it. Fourth place going to the number 83 of Phil Walker. And rounding up the top five was Jack Woodcock in number 24. Winning the MGF class was Mark Baker in sixth place ahead of Simon Kendrick by some 5.4 seconds. Fergus Campbell eighth from the back ahead of George Howarth and Adrian Olsen in their ZRs rounding up the top 10. Stuart Plotneck, he got a penalty for exceeding track limits, drops down to 11th place ahead of the recovered Paul Wisby after his incident on the first corner. And then Chris Pollard, the winner of the Classic Class A, finishing less than a second ahead of David Amflett. Mark Grant rounding out the top 15. 16th behind them was Andy Robinson, then Chris Millard and Carl and Anthony Bates, with Matthew Dorr completing the 20 finishers. Unfortunately, Darryl Davis and Nick Golhar, after their problems in race one, didn't take the start.